All right, we've reached the top of the hour now, so we'll go ahead and get going. The session today is called The Gold in the Cracks, a meditation on resilience. So go ahead and settle into a comfortable posture, relaxed yet alert and aware. And let your eyes close, or if you'd rather today, just let your gaze go soft. Angle down a bit toward the floor, a little bit in front of you. Not really looking at anything in particular, just letting the eyes rest. And go ahead and let your feet find the floor. Let your hands rest in any way that feels at ease. And just take a moment to find that posture that feels both at ease and alert. Not slumped, not straining, just settled. The way you'd sit if you were about to hear something good from an old friend. Just take a nice slow breath in and let it go. And maybe another nice deep breath and just let it out with a sigh. Just letting the breath flow in and out and easy. There's nothing to accomplish in this next little bit of time, nowhere to get to. Whatever is waiting for you outside the room, your to-do list, your phone, that thing you still haven't figured out, it will all be there when you return. And for now, we can just be here. Let your chair hold you. Feel how solid it is underneath you, the floor beneath the chair, the building beneath the floor. There's a lot of quiet support happening right now that doesn't require anything from you at all. You can just be held for a few minutes. Now let's let our attention drift to the breath. Not to improve it, it doesn't need improving. Just to find it, to let it be company. The breath can be a little like a trusted old knitter. The hands just know what to do. Just follow the breath in and out. A rhythm so familiar and easy it barely needs thinking about. You just let it move. If the mind is still a little buzzy from the morning, that's perfectly natural. You've just come in from the world, your thoughts will be in there. Plans, worries, little things you remembered on your way in today, and that's fine. We're not trying to clear the mind completely. We're just practicing the simple skill of returning. Returning to the breath, returning to the chair, returning to this moment. And when you notice your attention has wandered off, and it may well do that, that is not really a problem, it's just what attention does. Imagine it's like a kite that drifted while you weren't watching. Nothing dramatic, just reach out, find the string and reel it back in, slow and easy. Back to the breath, back to here. Today we're going to spend a little time with a word that gets used a lot, maybe even gets a little overused, resilience. You've probably heard it come up recently. It shows up in self-help books, in speeches, in advice from well-meaning people. And sometimes when we hear it too often, it starts to sound like something we're supposed to already have. Like it's a character trait you either got enough of growing up or you didn't. But folks who actually study this, who spend their careers watching how human beings move through loss and hardship and change, they have a more interesting way of putting it. Real resilience, they say, isn't about being tough, it isn't about never bending, and it isn't really about bouncing back the way a rubber ball bounces, like nothing happened, like the ground never touched you. That's not resilience, that's just pretending. Real resilience is better understood as the capacity to be with what's hard, to feel it honestly and keep going. Not around the difficult thing, not over it, but through it. And to come out on the other side changed, but still yourself. Maybe more yourself. Hemingway put it this way in A Farewell to Arms. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places. I want to stay with that for just a moment. Strong at the broken places. Not strong in spite of them, not strong once they've been patched over and hidden, strong at them. Right there in that exact spot where the break happened. That is a remarkable idea, and that's what we'll sit with today. You may be familiar with an art form from Japan that I find myself coming back to again and again when I think about resilience. It's called kintsugi, and the practice is this. When a ceramic bowl or a cup cracks or breaks, instead of hiding the repair or discarding the piece, an artisan fills the seams with lacquer mixed with powdered gold. The cracks become golden lines, visible and beautiful, honored rather than disguised. The philosophy behind it is simple and profound. The breakage is part of the object's history. Not a flaw to be ashamed of, not a reason to throw it away. Something to be acknowledged, even celebrated. This piece has a story. And the story made it more beautiful, not less. Let's settle into this idea just a little deeper. In your mind's eye, imagine you are holding a small bowl in both hands. It fits comfortably in your palms, not too heavy, not too light. It has that satisfying weight of something made with care by someone who took their time. This bowl has been broken and repaired. You can feel the seams as you turn it slowly. Faint lines running across the surface. But when you look at them, those lines are gold. Warm, quiet gold. The kind that catches the light in a way the unbroken surface never could. Hold the bowl gently, turn it in your hands. This bowl has a history. It fell once, maybe more than once. But here it is, not ruined, not lesser for what it's been through. If anything, it's more interesting, more real, more worth keeping. And now, let the image of the bowl slowly expand and see if you can let it become, very gently, a reflection of yourself. You have broken places. We all do. Relationships that cracked under pressure. Seasons when the bottom fell out without warning. Losses that rearranged the furniture of your whole life. a diagnosis that changed everything, a grief that took years to even begin to understand, hard work that didn't pay off the way you hoped. Those are not the parts of you to hide. Those are your gold seams. Not because suffering is good, many times it isn't, but because of what you did with it, the way you kept showing up, the way you sat with the hard thing until you could carry it, the way you learned to live alongside what you couldn't change. That is the gold right there in those exact places. Strong at the broken places. Just let yourself rest here for a moment, just holding that. And then let me take you somewhere now, somewhere quiet and cold and just on the edge of thawing. Imagine you're walking along a small creek in the last weeks of winter. The trees are still bare. Just the suggestion of buds at the tips of the branches. The ground is cold, a little muddy where the frost is beginning to loosen, but the air has just the faintest hint of something different, a little softening, a little warmth coming back. You stop and crouch down beside the water. Near the banks, the surface of the creek has a thin skin of ice, gray-white and still. And for a moment, looking at it, you might think it froze, it stopped. But then you look closer out toward the middle of the stream. The water is moving, clear and quiet and alive, running underneath, slipping between the rocks, catching a little light. It never completely stopped. Even in the coldest weeks, even when the whole world seemed locked up and frozen, this little creek just kept going. Slowly and quietly, without making any fuss about it. That's what real resilience looks like most of the time. Not the dramatic comeback, not the triumphant moment that makes a good story, but rather just the quiet persistence. The part of you that kept moving through the frozen season. The part that didn't announce itself, didn't ask for recognition, just kept flowing because that's what living things do. You have had your frozen seasons. Maybe you are in one right now or just coming out of one. The current is still there. It didn't stop. It kept moving underneath even when you couldn't see it. Even when you weren't sure it was still there. It was there. It is there. Before we move on to our closing poem, a very short one today, and our affirmations, let's just settle back into the breath, breathing in. I find what has not broken in me. Breathing out, I trust the ground beneath the ground. Breathing in, I am more than my hardest season. Breathing out, I carry the gold in my cracks. There's a short poem, barely a poem at all, more like a stone someone set down in the path for you to find. From a 17th century Japanese poet named Mizuta Masahide. This is the whole poem. Barns burnt down. Now I can see the moon. Of that. The barn burnt down. That's a real loss, and not a small thing, and yet, now he can see the moon. Not instead of the loss, not pretending the loss wasn't real, but because of the opening it made. Sometimes the hard season clears something away. Sometimes resilience isn't about rebuilding what was exactly as it was. Sometimes it's about discovering the view that was always there, that the barn was blocking. As you sit here now, breathing, settled, a room quiet around you, a last thought before we come to a close. Resilience isn't a wall you build to keep the hard things out. It isn't armor. It isn't pretending. It's something quieter and more durable than any of those things. More of a root system. And like any root system, you tend it. You come back to it. You water it. Every time you show up to practice, right here in the chair, you are tending that root system. Even when the mind wanders the whole time, even when you leave feeling like you didn't do it right, the showing up is the practice. The returning again and again to breath and stillness, that is exactly how the roots grow deeper. And now our affirmations. Just let them settle in whatever way feels right for you. If one lands, let it. If one doesn't quite fit today, just let it pass on by like a cloud. I have survived hard things, and I carry their wisdom in my bones. My broken places are not failures. They are where the gold is. I do not have to be unbroken to be whole. Resilience is not a wall I build, it is a root I tend. Whatever this season brings, something in me keeps moving. And last, I am worthy of the same care I would offer anyone else who fell. I'll take a quick pause here just to let our minds soak in the practice today. After a bit of quiet, I'll tap the bowl again, and we'll gently begin our journey back to our days. As we start to bring our awareness back, just take a slow breath in and let it go. Begin to bring a bit of gentle movement back to your body. Maybe wiggling fingers and toes, maybe turning your head from side to side or rolling your shoulders, just whatever feels good today. Feel the floor solid beneath your feet. Notice the sounds in the room and beyond, whatever they are. And when you're ready, let your eyes open slowly, soft and easy, and let the light back in. Take a moment before you rush off. You've done something good for yourself today. And thank you for being here, for showing up today and every day with whatever you've got. That's never a small thing. Take good care of yourselves today. Namaste.